Welcome, So-La-Rah here. I hope you guys are all doing well. I've missed you. I'm sorry that I've been away for over a week, but I've been going through some of my own activations and integrations and changes in my life, beautiful changes. But whenever change comes, we must, adjust, right? So that's kind of what I've been doing, and I'm so grateful to those of you I've met this week or I've done readings for this week. Thank you for entrusting me with this juncture of your journeys. It's been such a treat getting to see some of you face to face through mentorship, being able to do love readings for you guys, tarot astrology. It's such a sacred honor to be able to assist you on your soul's journey. So many beautiful, beautiful souls that Spirit sends to me, and I'm so grateful, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that is here. Thank you to those of you who've been here from the beginning. Thank you to those of you who've come along the way, and thank you to those of you who are new subscribers. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited. I'm almost at 8K, and I thank you guys. I thank you so much because there's been incredible growth even in my time away. So thank you. Thank you for all the ways that you add to my own value and ability to give back to you and the entirety of the collective. So I don't have any notes. I think I'm going to go into cards, but I will do a little bit of talking because I like to talk about what's been happening and what is happening and what's going on. So I haven't done a video with you guys since the new moon in Gemini a week ago and the summer solstice 4 days ago, and so much has been occurring. So we made it through Gemini season, y'all, right? We made it through, hopefully with our minds intact, and not only our minds intact, but we now have this expanded consciousness, which you can also call your Christ mind. That Cancer season now is helping us to kind of emotionally detox so that our minds and our hearts can come together in union and marriage, so that come Leo season, we've birthed a new heart resonance. Okay, so it's a really exciting time. This kind of thing happens every year. We're given the opportunity every time through every revolution of the zodiac wheel. We are offered the opportunity to utilize the power of every zodiac sign to perfect our souls, to perfect our own inner light. But as you know, because we are in the midst of an ascension, we are at the changing of two ages. We are at the changing of an age into a new one, rather. This assistance that we're getting planetarily, it's intense. It's really intense, and right now we're smack in the middle of last week's new moon in Gemini. We're moving towards the full moon in Capricorn. I just took a glimpse of that chart. I'm looking so forward to next week doing the tarot astrology on the full moon on my other channels, So-La-Rah Rises. If you don't follow me over there and you're into tarot astrology, I've been doing the full moon and new moon energy readings, and I'll probably go there to kind of give a mid-moon report either today or tomorrow, so check me out over there. But the full moon that's coming up, 11 degrees Cancer, which is the fixed sign of Sirius, some would say. It depends on who you talk to. Sirius, depending on, it's 2144. Depending on the astrologer you speak to, it's sometimes 11 degrees, sometimes 13 degrees. It's anywhere between that 11 and 14 degree mark. But even if it is 13, it's still a big deal, right? So we have the sun at 11 degrees Cancer and the moon at 11 degrees Capricorn. Can we say 11-11, anyone? And 11-11, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you do know, it is the call of the light worker for the age of Aquarius. 11 is the 11th house, which is ruled over by Aquarius. It is the call of the humanitarian. It is the call of the light worker. It is the number that we see when we're being called into duty. Okay, so this is very special, but I want to talk to you a little bit. I'm very excited about these Cancer energies and what they're doing. And I've been writing about them this week. If you've joined me for the Daily Alchemy Open Week, thank you for being there. I posted some of the Daily Alchemy messages on the community board, so you can still check them out. They'll stay here also. But I was talking a little bit about this through the post this week on the Daily Alchemy portal, okay? And what it is that Cancer is the second cardinal sign on the zodiac wheel. So whenever we get into cardinal energy, we're birthing something, we're beginning something, okay? We're getting the it's like the Ace of Wands energy, we're getting the energy, and even in the tarot, the cardinal signs are boosted by the aces, okay? So Cancer energy is a 2, 3, and 4 of cups in the minor arcana, but it's also the Ace of Cups kind of gives it the boost. So the cardinal signs are very much connected to like ace energy, like a new beginning in something, a new birth, but also the energy that needs to be put behind something to go forward. So, you know, Aries, when we began the year with Aries, the astrological year with Aries, it was the Ace of Wands. And now we're moving into like Ace of Cups energy. So we're birthing, like I said before, a new emotional resonance. And Cancer energy is connected to the 4th house, okay? So it's connected to your home. It's connected to your ancestry. It's connected very deeply to the relationship you have with your mother, because Cancer is also ruled by the moon, right? And it's also very connected to what you have inherited matrilineally. And it's also deeply connected to the Divine Mother. It's by way of this Cancerian energy that we are bringing back the Divine Mother back here on Earth in balance, and it's through the Capricorn energy that the Divine Father also is rising into his rightful place. So you see with this Capricorn and Cancer energy that we have happening this full moon in Capricorn, it's kind of a big deal for those Divine Father and Divine Mother resonances coming into union, which again assist us all in coming into a deeper sense of union with our own inner masculine and inner feminine energies, as well as those of you who are, you know, in divine partnerships or coming into divine union. Okay, so Cancer energy is so powerful. It's so powerful because it is a womb space. Okay, so most of the water signs are connected in a way to the womb. Scorpio energy is connected even to the womb physically. Cancerian energy is connected to the chest. It's the breast and the chest. And so therefore, it's all about the nurturance of our emotions, because it's a water sign. And if you've worked with me one-to-one, then you've probably heard me say this. So I'm going to say it. I might have even said it here, but I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating, okay? All of us were programmed emotionally by our mothers. All of us were programmed emotionally, primarily emotionally by our mothers. So what do I mean when I say that? Okay, so at the point of conception, how your mother felt had an effect on how that egg and sperm interacted in order to become one and then multiply into many. It is the emotional resonance of what she was going through that also has an effect on that. And from that point forth, as your DNA multiplied, as your cells multiplied and divided, as you were formed in your mother's womb and you became you were taking cues from the waters of her womb. The Cancer energy is kind of the waters of the womb, okay? And it's within the waters of the womb that your own cells are being programmed by your mother. And this is happening in accordance with the fullness of the emotional energy that she already embodies and has, which holds all of her experiences from this lifetime and every lifetime, right? But then science also shows us that matrilineally, we are able to inherit things from that line, especially trauma, up to 3 generations, meaning that you can inherit things from not only your mother, but your grandmother and your great-grandmother. And that's what science has proven so far. In my opinion, it goes back even farther Okay, like if you read in the Bible, I forget how many generations, I think it must be at least 7, you know. So I do believe it goes even further than that, but you can get how already the way that you are being formed in the womb, the DNA that's being activated and deactivated in you is happening because of the emotional resonance your mother brings to pregnancy, as well as what is happening to her throughout the pregnancy, environmentally or externally and internally, that is also adding and building a new emotional resonance and a new experience for her emotionally as she goes through the pregnancy. And while you are, you know, growing and expanding in her amniotic fluids, in the waters of her womb, you are receiving all of that information. And it's that information that is cultivating the start and the foundation of your emotional resonance, which then when you're born, your mother then further begins to either nurture or, you know, go in the opposite direction of nurturance based upon, again, her own emotional resonance and her ability to connect with you emotionally, and to then either affirm you or affirm her reflection, because really you are a divine mirror to your mother, or not. And then throughout childhood, you are emotionally being programmed by anyone that is in your intimate circle, but the foundation of that, how you receive, how you respond, it goes back to your mother. Okay? And what Cancer season is offering us, because we've been so deep on this journey healing, right? So much mother wound healing, father wound healing, you know, healing from the trauma of intimate relationships, which actually are just a repeat of our mother and our father wounds playing out again and again. And we are at the end of a 3-year cycle. I've spoken about it in another video, a 3-year cycle, especially for those of you who have been part of like what we call the twin flame journey. So, you know, in 2020, there was a lot of expansive energy in that area that was allowing more people to open up and to wake up to the journey, even facilitated some people coming into union or beginning to come into union. And then that again was thwarted because of timeline fuckery. Okay, but I want to take you back to 2020, because 2020 was when we had that huge eclipse in Cancer in the midst of the lockdown. I think we had 2 new moons in Cancer in that time. And we were closing out the time of the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn. And there's something about, and that energy is what really was helping us to connect with the importance of clearing our bloodlines and dealing with our ancestral wounds that were keeping us stuck in karmic cycles. And so as such, for the past 3 years, we've been doing this deep, intense healing work where we've literally been rebirthing ourselves. And so what this Cancer season is really feeling like it's about is like we are being given the opportunity to go into the waters of the womb, Cancer energy, and to reprogram our emotional resonance back to what it should have always been, or rather in alignment with who we now know we are. So instead of taking on the wounded emotional cues, we now have the opportunity to come into alignment with the truth of who we are emotionally. So, for example, many of you divine beings are deeply emotional because you're highly empathic and you are designed to connect deeply with yourself, deeply with God or Source, deeply with one another, deeply with the planet. You were not made for superficial, fake bonds. That's not who you are. But because you were born into a matrix system that made you think that you're too much, or you were told that by your mother or your father or your siblings or your teacher or your friends, You were too much. You learned how to shut down your emotions. You learned how not to fully express how you felt. You learned to even reject and betray yourself by believing that there was something wrong with you. And that wasn't true. That's not true at all. You're not too much. You never were too much. It's that the system is flawed. The matrix system is flawed. It's not you. There's no flaw in your design. You're supposed to feel deeply. You're supposed to feel powerfully. You're supposed to. And for so many of us, that was snuffed out, that was snuffed out rather, that was, we were made to feel bad about it. We were made to feel bad about who we were, because we had too much emotional resonance for others who had turned theirs off. And now we are finally safe enough on this ascension to be fully who we are emotionally, and to open our hearts again without fear of rejection, without fear of abuse, without fear of going down the same karmic cycles, for as long as we are, walking in truth and we're following our own intuition, and we are therefore choosing and attracting to us people and relationships and situations that mirror back to us our own emotional resonance and beauty. And this is what the new moon in Gemini was all about. If you haven't seen the new moon in Gemini reading I did a week ago, I would still go back to it, because what was coming through was so beautiful and so powerful. And as such, there's a switch for many of you who are in what we call twin flame situations, or wanting to come into divine union, and you thought it was a specific person. A lot of the details around that are going to start coming to fore, and I spoke about that in the new moon in Gemini reading too. And even in meeting with some of you guys this week for love readings, I've had the privilege to work with you in this area, because there is no coming off our thrones at this point. Once upon a time, many of you on the twin flame, this is the analogy I tend to use. When you met that person who you might still be wondering about, where are they? What's going on with them? You've gone forth and you've done your work, and you still don't know what's going on with them. Well, you guys had the equal opportunity to utilize the power of the energy of the partnership for it to propel you forward on your ascension journey, so that you could heal enough to come back together. Okay, because your twin flame, or your divine partner, is ultimately, they're your ultimate divine mirror. Whatever it is that is hiding in your energy, they will reflect back to you. And just like we have that powerful, powerful love and emotional resonance that unites us, when that energy is not in balance and we're still harboring wounds that we haven't healed, we are as powerful to create beautifully as we are to destroy magnanimously. Hence the reason why so many of us had to be in separation while we healed, simply so we did not destroy one another, instead of focusing on healing ourselves. Okay, so when you met this person, a lot of us, we were like pages and knights. And they were too, and we had the opportunity to go forward together and to utilize the power of that magnetism and that emotional resonance. We had the ability to use that to ascend into the status of queens and kings. And for those of you who have done the work, and you're waiting for your divine partner to come in or to return to you, the truth is that many of you did the work to rise into knighthood, to rise into queendom, to even rise into becoming kings. You get what I'm saying? And now you're empresses and you're emperors. And if these beings who you thought were your divine partners are still faffing around being pages and knights, the time has run out for you to wait. The time has run out for you to wait, because, And this isn't going to be for everyone, okay? You must always enter into energy readings and astrology and all that stuff with your own sense of discernment for what is right for you. If this is right for you, it's going to resonate with your soul. Please do not take information that any tarot reader gives you, including myself, and allow it to imprison you into a mindset or into an emotional tizzy. If that's what it does, then it probably isn't for you, okay? But for many of you on this journey, especially those of you who are rolling with me in my energy, the time for these partners to ascend in order to meet you, that timeline has pretty much expired. So it's either now or never, okay? And so what's not going to happen, or what we're being guided to not allow happen, is to go back and to descend off of our thrones as emperors and empresses in order to go down and meet the knight, when the knight had the very same opportunity you and I did to elevate themselves into emperor and empress status too, but they chose not to. And that was a free will choice. We've all got free will in this. You chose to heal, and they likely chose not to. And in choosing not to, they will find themselves in another karmic cycle. And if you continue to go back to that, you will find yourself pulled back into a karmic cycle with them. And so some of you might be, deciding you still want to wait and see. And that you're free to do that. You're free to do whatever it is you want to do. But for many of you who are really serious about this union as it goes for ascension, as opposed to an attachment to like a romantic idea with a specific person, this is where the gates to Eden are being opened to you, because the whole time we were healing and kind of wanting and waiting for this other person, there's been a very real scripture that's been, coming back to me all week, like since the new moon in Gemini, and that is from Psalm 23, and it says, God prepares a table before me. And in the actual psalm, it goes, God prepares a table. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all of the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of God forever. Okay, so that's the verse, but the section of that verse, the line that keeps on playing in my emotional resonance, my guides kept giving me, was, thou preparest a table before you. And that table, guys, is Four of Wands energy. It's the four legs of the Four of Wands. And what does that mean? That means that while you were doing, and I said this before in another reading, when we were beginning Gemini season, and this energy of union was coming up more in my emotional resonance too. And that is that one thing I know about God, about Source, is that there's always provision. There is always provision. And another thing I know, let's go a little bit farther. Another thing I know is that you will never be led on a path when you're following, Source, when you're following your heart, when you're following your soul's truth. You will never be led on a path to be let down and disappointed. Okay? In other words, if you have been shown the possibility of this beautiful love with a person, and that person has chosen of their own free will and volition to squander you as a gift, which they will pay for also, that will also be their karma, that they squandered a gift, a true divine gift, the true divine gift of union with another. They squandered it. They failed to use their spiritual eyes. They failed to use their discernment. They failed to tune out of the programming of the matrix. They failed to see your worth and your value. They failed to see it because they failed to see it in themselves, and therefore cultivate it in themselves. And there's a penalty for that too. But even that was even that the event of them choosing to squander you was already seen, and there was already provision made should that happen. And what many of you are going to find, you know, if you're able to detach yourself from the idea of a person and commit yourself to the idea of your mission here as far as your divine partner is concerned, what you're going to get in return is going to far supersede what you thought you were going to have with that person who actually squandered you. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it show up, guys, in real time. In real time. This isn't just channeling. This is channeling, but it's also me seeing it come forth in real time. The beings and the partners that are coming forth are the ones now who have done the work. There are all manner of divine masculines, and I've had like the privilege of working with some of you, especially in the past week, who have been in these roller coaster situations with twin flames where their feminines have done all manner of things to them, and they've still chosen to rise. They've still chosen to love. They've still chosen to forgive. And those are the men who, even though those women squandered them, that other divine feminines who divine masculines have squandered them too, these are the ones that are coming together. They're coming together, and the reality is that how it's going to happen, it's going to be so almost like miraculous, because really you're untapping the energy of miracles here. You're untapping the Neptunian octave of love, your ability to connect with the dream and ground it into reality. We're connecting with that now. And so what you're going to find when you meet that person is that they're everything that you wanted. This twin flame who activated you, they're everything you wanted them to be, but they couldn't show up and be that for you. And there are other beings who are ready. There are beings who you don't have to prove yourself, your worth to them. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to tell them how to act. You don't have to tell them to do the healing work. You don't have to ask them to reflect, because they're deeply self-aware. They've been doing this the whole time you've been doing it too. There are beings who will, partners who are coming into your reality, who they will not make you question how it is they feel about you. They will let you know at every turn. And they will let you know at every turn because they will also have been through the trauma of the twin flame dynamic that you have also had to heal from. It's happening now, guys, and it's beautiful. This new moon in Gemini has ushered it in. The solstice is bringing it in even stronger. This full moon in Capricorn is putting an end to the contracts that can't go forward anymore, including the mooted twin flame contracts, the contracts that have to be mooted because there's one or two parties, because there are also beings who come together and stay in karmic crap, and they don't ascend because they're so codependent still, and they were destined for divine union too. So all of that is being put on into other timelines. And now these beautiful timelines of union, these beautiful timelines of Eden, these beautiful timelines of sacred union with another person who shares your values spiritually and is ready to do the damn thing with you, is ready to plant the new earth seeds that you've been cultivating alone and thinking there's no one that's going to come here to water these babies. Well, they're here, but they're here for as long as we are able, like I said before, to detach from the fantasy of someone being something to us that they still have not shown they can be, and then commit ourselves to the highest form of love. And that's what it comes down to, guys. Like, it's time for us to commit ourselves to the highest form of love, no matter how that love is going to come in, or no matter what package it's going to be in, because when it arrives, you're going to know. You're going to know, and it's going to be like, wow. I said this at the end of the new moon in Gemini reading, because we had like this 10 of Cups resonance, I think that it was a new moon in Gemini, you're going to like look at the situation and be like, wow, I can't, you're almost going to be like, not in regret, but like, how did I waste my time, my value on a being who couldn't see me? And here comes this person who sees every layer to me, who sees without me having to show, who actually is committed to seeing me, committed to learning me, committed to learning what it is I need, committed to learning how to love me. It's a completely different frequency, and it's available now for as long as we are choosing the highest timelines for ourselves in love. And for some of you, for some of us, the highest timelines that we have moving forward in love will not include the twin flame that activated us. And we can still have so much love and gratitude in our hearts for them, you know, because we wouldn't be where we are without them. We wouldn't have gotten so far in our healing, 2211 on my clock. We wouldn't have, many of us wouldn't have tapped into our gifts without them. But at the same time, you know, they had a free will choice. So this is what I've been noticing big time right now. And this is what I have been working with people, especially in love reading, especially in mentorship, one-to-one, to get ready for union, but in a very realistic way. It's time to put an end to the fantasies that are connected to delusion. And it's only delusion because it's based on a past cycle and a lower timeline that once upon a time may have been a higher timeline for you, but because you've ascended so far above and beyond that, it's time to reach for the stars. It's time to reach for the stars. So it's a very, very exciting time. Beautiful energy for love in general right now with the you know, in terms of tarot astrology, the first decan of Cancer, it is Two of Cups. So this energy of like the Cancerian energy being the waters of the womb that are reprogramming our emotional resonance, it's helping us to also tune into this higher call for divine love. It's helping us to prepare ourselves to truly be in union, heart to heart with another, you know, because some of you might be in union and you're still cultivating the ability to come higher into union, and this energy is helping you to create like the heart to heart connection that is needed in order for you to move forward and to be on the same wavelength where you can be creators in the new earth. If that makes sense. There's no, and when I say there's no more time, what I mean is like, if time is yours, like you make of your time what you will. But in terms of those of you who are graduating to the next level of this thing, that door for many of you, it's closing. And some people will cling to the door even though it's closed, but many will open their hearts to a higher love. A love that they deserve, the love that you've always deserved, but now you must step into that knowing. That's what the Gemini energy was here to help us with also, to step into that knowing. I was feeling this very strongly around the new moon in Gemini, like it was time for us to start to know what it is that we deserve without a doubt. You get what I'm saying? And even if you go back and forth from time to time because you're a human being and you're alchemizing stuff and you're still healing wounds, you must have a central point where you know, this is what I deserve. I deserve to be with someone who sees the God in me, who honors the God in me, who has that namaste principle, and I have that for them too. And I will settle for nothing less. Anything less is a lower timeline. And this is where we are. This is where we are. And this is where, if we are really, if we are really tuning into that mindset our hearts are being prepared through the waters of Cancer. Our hearts are being prepared so that come Leo season, we can begin to receive a new heart resonance that's in alignment with that truth that we've decided through the Gemini energy. And therefore our stargates open and we begin to magnetize towards us all that it is that matches this new emotional resonance. So it's a really exciting time. It's a little bit bittersweet also because it means a letting go. It means a letting go of what it was that we thought was going to be for some of us. Although for some of you, this is going to be real easy. And it also means it's a death of self because a new version of you is being born again, born all over again too. You know, the you that is who knows they are worthy of the highest form of love, the you who knows that you deserve to be loved lavishly, the you who can love another lavishly without the fear that they'll reject you. That's another thing that happened with the twin flame dynamic a lot of the time, especially with that feminine energy, wanting to love someone so badly, wanting to show them how you felt, and every time being rejected specifically for that. There's no more of that. You should not have to censor yourself. You should not have to love someone with caution. You should not have to love someone with caution. That is, fear-based. That's like fear. You shouldn't have to love someone with caution. You know, you should love someone and have boundaries, you know, because we're human beings and we need our space. But you shouldn't have to tiptoe around expressing how you really feel out of fear that someone's going to reject you. When there's real love and you express how you really feel, even if that person doesn't fully get where you're coming from, they make it their business to. So many of us have become so used to settling for less because we were programmed into positions where we were made to feel like we were too much, and it's enough of that shit. It's enough. To someone who is actually worthy of you, who sees your beauty, who sees your value, they can't get enough of you. They can't get enough of you. They want more of you. You know, and not in some crazy like codependent, you know, like stalkerish kind of way, but they have a desire, like I said, to learn you, to be with you in the partnership and to allow the partnership to bloom and blossom. And they have more than that. They have a deep connection to their own individual divine purpose. They have a vested interest in your individual divine purpose. And they have a vision for the purpose that you have coming together and what it means beyond the romance, but what it actually means for what it is that's happening in the earth planes at this time. You were not made for superficial love. You were not made to love with caution. You were not made to have to, you know, make yourself smaller to be accepted by those who have issue with themselves embracing the fullness of their own emotional resonance. It's enough. Those who want to do that, it's time to leave them behind. It's time to leave them behind. And this Cancer energy, you know, there's so much mother wounds in all of us that it's being healed right now if we allow it to. And women, those of you with wombs, there's a lot of womb activations coming in. There's a lot of womb energy coming in to help us to clear some of that, those densities that we've inherited from our mothers especially, but then also, again, how we repeated that through how we interacted in our romantic partnerships, how we continually chose people who couldn't love us or people who resembled the love we received from a mother, or searching for the love that we didn't get from a mother in another person. You know, we're deep clearing and cleansing of that is happening. this Cancer season, because like I said at the beginning, your emotional resonance, the foundation of that came through your earthly mother, and the divine mother is here to help you clear the faulty aspects of those templates so you can have a healthy new foundational emotional resonance that helps you to connect with those who value you and who would think it anathema to squander you. They would think it anathema to squander you. It's just something they wouldn't do. Before they do that, they would walk away. And that's the love that you've been looking for, and that's the love you deserve. And now it's open for as long as you're willing to step into the worthiness, your worthiness of being able to receive it. And the Cancer energy is helping us to alchemize all of that. It's an exciting time, guys. Let's see. It's a great time to work with earth energies, to ground these things into our reality. It's a great time to pay attention to your physical routines. We are in the place now where we are grounding. Ever since this new year began, this is all about, like I've said in other readings, all the retrogrades are in earth signs because it's time to ground the dream. It's time to ground the miracle. It's time to ground the love. It's time to ground the abundance. It's time to create stable foundations through which, or stable foundations and containers that these energies can come into and can multiply with ease, is really what it comes down to. It's time to create these stable energetic containers by way of how we are working with our physical and material realities now. Yes? So as such, this Cancer energy lends itself beautifully to grounding in water, salt baths. You know how I feel about 2222. You know how I feel about baths. You know how I feel about sacred bathing. You know how I feel about salt baths. I'm a huge fan. And when you're working with energies like this that are so emotionally cleansing, baths, salt baths, ladies, those of you with wombs, yoni steaming, working, if you have a yoni egg practice, or if your guides have been trying to tell you, to work with a yoni egg, now would be the time to take that plunge. It's amazing. It's amazing. Both of them are amazing to work with, to do yoni steams and to work with yoni eggs. For those of you who need further guidance with that kind of stuff specifically, you can book a session with me if you are wanting to explore new areas or new ways of connecting with these energies, or clearing or connecting with your womb space. Because it's time, guys. It's time. It's time to... it's almost like, you know how we technically should, most of us don't, and most of us aren't even aware of the need, but technically before you choose to conceive or to get pregnant, you should make your body ready to not only hold that life, but to sustain that life so that you and baby thrive. And to that extent, like you start to eat clean, you start to do things that ultimately we should already be doing for ourselves. But oftentimes the impetus to get pregnant for many women is when they'll start to do certain things to make their bodies ready for conception. And that's really what it is right now. That's what it feels like. It's like we're making our bodies ready for conception. And this is men and women alike, because I'm talking about your energetic bodies, your energetic fields. So you're doing the work to make to allow whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing in the physical, you are creating routines and schedules that support that. You know, whatever it is that is going to happen emotionally, you are doing the work in order to be able to hold the new mindsets and the emotions that are necessary for what is coming in or what it is you're cultivating. In other words, if you are here to create like global enterprises, things that are here to affect the entirety of the world. That requires a mindset that thinks big. That requires an emotional resonance that that is very, very like open, but it's also very, very protected because of the onslaught of other energies that are going to want to come in to either dissuade you or pick at you, and like the bigger the vision, the bigger the energy has to be, but also the bigger the level of self-protection has to be on every level, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and materially. And now it's like we're being made ready, like to conceive. We're getting the containers ready, our bodies ready. Our bodies are being made ready to conceive. Many of you have been cultivating seeds. You're making your soil ready for those seeds to be planted. Ooh, it's too many cards. It's too many cards. I'm using, I don't know the name. I think it's called the Crystal Magic Tarot deck. One of you beautiful souls gifted me with this deck. Thank you very, very much. I don't know if I've used it on the channel yet. I know I've used it in personal readings with some of you guys, but I don't know if I've used it on the channel yet. I'm laughing because 2 cards have come out, and only one has turned around for me to see so far, and that is the 10 of Coins. The 10 of Coins. Okay, and this is Emerald. And that Emerald resonance is very connected to the codes that are coming in right now, specifically for unions, specifically for next steps and next contracts. That Emerald resonance is very much a part of that. Emerald energy is also very much connected to Archangel Raphael. And that is, again, to do with high levels of healing, but it's also Kundalini energy. It's also Kundalini energy, and this is another thing that's happening right now. There are many Kundalini activations that are happening and are being assisted, especially by that Mars energy. That Mars energy going ahead of Venus to make the way ready is what I've been picking up. So a lot of Kundalini energies, a lot of fire rising, a lot of purification that's happening right now. Purification to make your bodies ready for conception. Okay? A lot of purification happening through even the healing of mother wounds. And you're going to see a lot of people like spaz out right now. You are, because they're not going to be able to control. They're no longer going to be able to control the emotions that they haven't processed and healed. And as such, because they've never learned how to do it, they're going to start to take it out on other people also. That's one thing I've noticed, especially with men, because men are often not given a safe space in order to emote. They're always being repressed emotionally. And then we like to get funny with them because they have an anger issue. And I'm not saying to accept any form of a person's unbridled anger against you, but I am saying that the reason for why so many men have anger issues and they don't know how to properly alchemize that anger, and because men are physical, they're more physical in the way they express their emotions than we are as women, there's a lot of that happening right now, and that's because there's a lot of emotional purification happening. There's a lot of mother wound stuff that's coming up for people to deal with, and if you are you know, a person who has been on the healing journey. You're no longer in that space of projecting onto others. And even if you do, you realize when you're doing that and you take responsibility. If you are in that space, you're going to be okay. But this is getting to be too much for those who have been pushing down. And another thing I'm noticing right now is there's a lot of awakening that's happening in mothers, especially those who have behaved very karmically. And there is a desire almost to come. You can feel the pull of the karmic mother energies wanting to connect. And it's not even like, for what I've been experiencing, it's like, it's not even necessarily an intentional trying to latch on. It is and this might be happening more spiritually than in real time, but I feel it. There is an energy of regret that has come through very strongly. It began to come through. I began to feel it a lot when the moon moved out of Gemini and into Cancer at the same time as the sun was moving out of Gemini and the sun was moving into Cancer. There was like this gateway, this pocket of energy that was opened where there was a lot of like regret. There was like the mixture of the mental energies of Gemini that allow for you to like what's the word I'm looking for? It's you know, like when we were retrograding, like why can't I think of the word? It's like when you're going through like something, you're going through something in your mind and you're recalling certain things. Why can't I think of the word right now? But I think you know what I mean. It's like there was this gate that opened where people were reminiscing almost through the mental energies that had created the emotional realities that they're living in. That's it. There was like a reminiscing, but using the mind as well as the heart. But really it was like a mental reminiscing of the emotional realities that have been created over time for themselves or with others. And in that, there's this energy of regret and lamenting that came up in that window of time specifically. I felt it. And everyone is going to be different, but for some people, they can't handle that, especially if they haven't done a lot of clearing work to reveal the reason why they were feeling and thinking that way. It's too much. And so what do? They do what they've always known to do, and that is to lash out, you know, to create the same emotional reality that they're already like lamenting over, to multiply it, because they don't know how to go in the other direction and alchemize it. So that was definitely coming up 2233, and it's going to continue to come up because we're being purified right now. That Leo energy, that Mars in Leo, Venus in Leo, Lilith in Leo, all of those energies are here to purge us. Ultimately, so like I said, come Leo season, your heart has been made new. Gemini was here to make your mind new. Leo season is here to make your heart new. And Cancer is here to help to bridge the gap. So to help to take the new mind and to begin to apply it to the old emotional energies, so that the old emotional energies can be swept away to make way for the new heart, so that there can be a union at last of heart and mind. So you're no longer walking around being this very emotionally vibrant person who is programming yourself mentally to repress that. There's no more of that. And so because the energies are cultivating, they are helping, the planets are helping us to really connect with our emotional resonance and to no longer repress it and to express it in balance and in our divinity. For those who have not done the work, it's really, it's agitating their souls. It's agitating their souls, but it's also causing some people to be in a state of regret because they are recalling now. They are seeing, you know, like this is also judgment, FYI. Everyone is awakening. Even those energies that have been karmic in your life, and not for nothing, We've all been karmic to someone. We've all been toxic to someone in our woundedness. No one's exempt from this, right? But what makes you divine is not that you've never been karmic. What makes you divine is that you choose to move towards situations, people, and beings that magnify your divinity because you're making that choice. You're choosing. You're not a chosen one unless you're choosing to also align and be in your divinity. So there is that energy of regret. And no, what I was saying was that so these energies that have been karmic in your life, they're awakening too. They're awakening, and they might not be awakening in the same way that you are, but these energies are still awakening things in them. And the things that they're awakening in them are actually what is causing their torment, because they refused to alchemize their wounds. They refused to alchemize their hurt. They refused to stop hurting themselves and others. And so all of that is coming up now for them to deal with. And they don't know how to deal with it because they haven't been putting in the work. Oh, beautiful. So we have the 8 of Coins, which is zoisite. Zoisite. I don't know if I know zoisite. My soul feels like I know zoisite, but my mind is like trying to get a vision and I'm not seeing it, but I feel a very strong resonance to even just the word. I feel like I know it. Both green energies I'm getting here with the 8 of Coins and the 10 of Coins. These are both Virgo energies. So remember I said not too long ago that we are now we are creating the containers. We are getting our bodies ready for conception. We're doing preconception cleanses. We're getting our bodies ready for conception. And this is speaking to me of a few things. For one thing, Virgo season is going to be big. Yeah, we already can kind of surmise that. Just astrologically speaking, Virgo is when we move we move out of Cancer and Leo season. So Cancer is a cardinal, Leo is a fixed, and then Virgo is a mutable energy where we start to integrate all of these changes that have occurred specifically in Cancer and Leo season, having brought forth, you know, also what's occurred in Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season. But really the focal point is now alchemizing all of that together through the Virgo energy. And this is where physical changes start to occur. The physical changes start to be birthed, where you need to then create routines and structures that support that. And it's like I said to you before, it's time to begin doing that now because it's already coming. You know, it's already here. So create the structures, create the routines that support this brand new conception, that support your union, that support your abundance with this 10 of Pentacles. And this is not just abundance, this is abundance with another or with others, 10 of Coins, right? So this Virgo energy is big. And it's also, you know, the Virgo energy is connected to Gemini, both mutable signs, but also both signs ruled by Mercury. Gemini energy comes in to expand our minds, to connect with higher messages from spirit and what is possible. Virgo energy comes into birth that into real time, into the earth planes, and to support the largeness of the ideas that are given by way of Gemini energy. So now Cancer is helping us to create the emotional resonance, the programming of our emotions, so that our hearts are also in alignment. And when I say your heart is in alignment, it's not really that your heart has to come into alignment as much as it is that what has kept your heart out of alignment must be cleared. This is a big energy that has been coming through. I've been speaking to you guys about a lot over the past few weeks, is dealing with those heart chakra blocks, because the heart chakra blocks it's important to alchemize them so that your heart and your mind can come together in union, but also so your stargate can open, because Cancer season is all about getting you also acquainted with your light body, and your light body is actually run off of your heart frequency, which is very much connected to your emotional resonance. We've got Queen of Wands, Tanzanite. Look at that lion roaring, the blue lion. Blue lion, so beautiful. Tanzanite, I love that. This is about, the blue energy is about the throat. Fifth dimension, fifth chakra. Entry into the fifth dimension is by way of truth. It's by way of authenticity, right? And the Leo energy is very connected to that, because Leo is the sister sign of Aquarius. And the last golden age we had was the age of Leo. And so the Leo energy is what gives us the confidence. It gives us back the confidence to be who we are and to shine and to connect with the truth of our hearts. And the Aquarian energy just then takes that and allows us to make it real, to live it. And so this Queen of Wands energy is also speaking to me again of all that Leo energy that's happening planetarily right now with Mars and Venus and Lilith. And, in a couple of weeks' time, the sun will be moving into Leo. So we're all being made ready to shine. We're being made ready to take back all that was stolen from us through being poorly or ignorantly parented, ignorantly slept on, or purposely in some cases, but we're recovering what was lost, recovering those parts that we lost every time we were overlooked, every time we were underloved, every time we were depreciated or devalued, as opposed to being in alignment with beings who actually reflected back to us the fullness of the truth of who we are. So that's beautiful. This is beautiful energy to end with. I'm not sure if I'm going to choose another card. You know what I haven't done for you guys in a minute is I have not gone into the Abundance Angels deck. So let's go into it and let's see what other messages are coming out. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. And you should only choose to be with people who really think it a privilege to be loved by you and to love you. This is what we're moving into. It should have always been this way, but the Matrix, fucked everything up, and we're here to make everything right. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to love another. It's a privilege for another to love you. A privilege, a sacred privilege. And when you are in alignment with people who actually feel that way, that's when love gives you wings. Like the Red Bull commercial. I don't know if that commercial's in America, but it was when I was here as a kid. Red Bull gives you wings. Love gives you wings. Love, when you are loved properly, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't accomplish. Nothing. And this is why they wanted to shut that down. This is why they wanted to permeate the world, our cultures, our systems, our institutions, our families with false representations of love that were really codependence, abuse, energy harvesting. They wanted to do that because they know themselves the power of love. When we love one another truly, we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. There's nothing more powerful than love. Perfect love casts out all fear. That's another thing, in scripture. Perfect love casteth out fear. Let go of guilt. Yes, that's going to be a big one this season. This is to do with finances, but as you know, money is energy, and as highly energetic beings, your situation is going to be a reflection of what is in your energy field, right? So right now we are 2244. We are being assisted. Divine Mother Energy 44. We are being assisted. We're being given the safe space and the container to clear out these energies of guilt, these energies that made you feel as if you were wrong for wanting things that are so fucking natural. It's natural to want to be loved. correctly. And another thing that's coming out is a clearing and a cleansing and a purification of sexual distortions. All the ways we've been shamed about our natural sexual desires. But not only that, all of the ways that we have been taught to use sex in ways that hurt one another, that are selfish, or that aren't operating in integrity and with realization that we are all divine beings. All of that is coming up to be dealt with also. It's all coming up to be dealt with, yes? So let go of guilt. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself. Do you know what that word inspire means? It means to give life, to give breath, to give creative power to. That's what it is when you inspire someone. You're giving them the gift of your creative flow to help them to spark theirs. It's not influence. Influence is kind of a manipulation of someone's fluids, of their emotions, to kind of get them to follow you, to copy you, doppelganger energy. To inspire someone is to wake up what is already in them by being yourself, by being a creator. Yes? When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. Absolutely. Gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of the universe. That's another thing coming up right now, because this Cancerian energy can also get us so lost in our emotions that we forget everything that we have. We're so focused on what it is that we think we don't have yet, or what we haven't accomplished yet, that we forget everything that we already have. And gratitude is the ultimate way to connect with your joy. It's like I've been having this conversation with my two children recently. It's like we have the ability and we have the free will choice to tune into whatever channel we want to tune into. That's going to tune our emotional resonance into ways that we want to feel. So if we're walking around feeling bad and feeling sorry for ourselves, like, that's a choice. Irregardless as to what's happened to us, that's a choice. And this isn't to victim shame, because trust me, I've been there and I can be there in a second too. And I have to pull myself up and remind myself it's a choice. My happiness is my responsibility. So if I'm allowing someone else or an external circumstance to master my emotions, then I'm giving them that power. And it's time for me to take that back and tune into the energy that I want to feel. I need to cultivate what I need to do to bring in that energy that I want to feel. And that's what we're learning right now. Like, if you want to cultivate joy, you want to cultivate more reasons to be joyful, then be grateful for, then search for the beauty. Everywhere you find beauty in yourself, in others, in life, search for the beauty and magnify that instead of searching for everything that's wrong. Employment change. Your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you let go of the old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. So yeah, for some of you, job changes are on the horizon. For some of you, you're walking away and you're starting your own thing. You're going to begin your own spiritual business. You're going to come into alignment with what you're here to do. That's going to bring you abundance. But either way, the underlying energy for all is that change is here. Are you making the container? Are you making the container to prepare for it? Are you believing that it's here? Are you therefore walking in faith and applying that belief to create the container that's going to sustain it when it comes? Are you getting your bodies ready for conception? Are you getting your bodies ready for conception? Everybody, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and materially. Are you getting ready? The changes are here, but if you're still holding on to an old version of you, an old timeline, something that has to expire or to be let go of in order for you to grab a hold of the new change, then it's time to take a look at that. Because for many of you, for most of us, there will be no bringing any of that into the new timelines. And so now it's time for us to make peace and to let go of what needs to be let go of in order that we can have everything that's kind of like, it's already birthed. It's just waiting for us to match the energy is really what it is. So I hope that this time we've spent together, this reading and time we spent together has been helpful. I hope that it's nourished your soul. I hope that it's given you, inspiration. I hope that it's given you confirmation. I hope that it's given you affirmation. I hope that it's helped to ground you more into your own heart's truth and into your own journey, and what would allow for you to make the changes mentally, emotionally, spiritually even, or physically that you need to in order to make yourself ready for conception. Yes, there's a lot of beauty that's coming forth, so tune into the beauty. Tune into the beauty. There's a lot of shit also. There's always a lot of shit, but there's a lot of beauty. Tune into the beauty. Tune your channel into the beauty and magnify it and watch more beauty come. I love you guys. I wish you love, joy, peace, stability, abundance, focus, harmony, joy. Every beautiful thing that when you are walking, thinking, feeling, living in divine alignment is already ultimately your birthright. I will see you guys again soon. For those of you still interested, we've got a couple more days in June. I might extend the offers, but I'm still offering love readings, and I'm offering tarot astrology readings, which are different than reports. For all information concerning that, you can find that on my website. Any other information you need concerning the channel or how to, support the channel in any way, you're going to find all of that in the description box below too. I want to say also, I do have some emails to get back to. I haven't forgotten you guys, specifically the ones that have come through either my website or you've emailed to So-La-Rah at So-La-Rah.info. I do have a few days of emails to tackle in that account specifically. But if you've sent me an email to the dailyalkhemy@gmail.com, if you sent it to me before like yesterday, or let's say Friday, because I cleared everything out yesterday. If you sent it to me before Friday to the Daily Alchemy website and you haven't heard back from me, it's because I haven't seen it. So please do me a favor and forward it to me again, because sometimes people's emails get lost, because sometimes I get quite a few emails and I try my best to get through them all, but I'm a human being and I miss them sometimes. So please, would you send me your email again if I missed you, because I don't want anyone to feel like I overlooked. Yes, I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for rolling with me. Until next time, be well.